Firstly, Dave, honor getting to speak to you again, man. We
Thanks.
did an interview a long time ago for your movie My Spy. So
Right.
just from there, looking at your career from My Spy to here you are now, can you just talk about that journey that you've been on, just how your career has just been skyrocketing?
It's what's weird is I don't know if I've completely processed it yet, because I've been kind of plugging along, and I don't I don't sit back and think about my accomplishments. I always think I'm always looking forward to what can I do, and I'm still chasing it. I'm still chasing a dream, and so I don't. I guess I don't reflect that much.
And I thought it was cool though, because I was watching, especially in this one, I was like, my boy Dave has come a long way. So just for this one, can you just talk about what it's like now to finally have this almost out into the world and people getting to see the full masterpiece that Denny has planned?
Just speaking for myself, it's nerve-wracking. Like I have had anxiety about even doing press and talking about the film. It's just, it's so much bigger than me. So, yeah, it is. But I'm excited, and I think about this film. I look at it as more of a fan, and I'm really excited for people to see this film because it's the payoff. Like it's the payoff for the first film.
Yes,
and I think when I watched the first film, I watched it, and it ended, and I was like, oh man, it's just like such a cliffhanger. It just like really left you hanging, left you wanted, and I loved that, but also hated it at the same time because I just couldn't wait.
Yep.
And so now that's what it is. I have that anxiety, like I'm just excited for people to see it because it is absolutely the payoff, and it's a huge payoff.
Truly was. When I tell you, man, like I love the first one, but coming out of the second one, I was like, all right, let's replay it again now. Let me watch it again. Like
It just starts to weave together and come together, and you get it, man.
it didn't feel like this is a sequel. Felt like
Right.
it just flowed. And
really
with that,
did.
we got some new additions like Austin Butler. So
Right.
can you just talk about what that was like working with him, working off of him, and building that dynamic?
You know, it's weird. It was effortless. Yeah, I'm curious to see what his answer is because we had such great camaraderie before we even started, acting together, before we started performing together. We just had conversations, and they were, just kind of like not about anything in particular, about just everything from A to Z. And by the time we got to set, I think, I'm just going to speak for myself, but I was so comfortable with this dude that it just felt effortless. And I love, I was like all in on kind of the layers of Raban and the way he clashed with Fayed. So it just, I don't know, man, it just felt so effortless.
Paul's power, one of his abilities is to look in his past, look in the future. So my question for you is, if you could tell yourself some advice, your younger self some advice, is there anything particular that you would tell your younger self?
No, I know, and it's a boring answer, but I really believe in the here and now, and I feel like all the things you've done right and all the things you've done wrong are they've led you to where you are in your life. And where I'm at in my life is a good place. Like I'm really content with it. It's not that I don't want more. But I know what I want. My vision is very clear on what I want. But I'm just very content with where I'm at right now. It took a while. Like this is kind of the payoff for me, because I made a lot of choices, hard choices early in my career, and there were sacrifices, but they all led to kind of this point. And so I don't know, and I really am a stubborn person, and that I like to figure things out for myself. Like I like to learn. I'm a student, and I really like the learning process. Even if you do make mistakes, I like to learn from my mistakes, or I do learn from my mistakes. So I wouldn't go back and talk to myself, but you know what I do like is I like when younger actors or younger wrestlers come up to me and say, you got any advice? And I can give them like advice, especially with actors. And a lot of actors just, they don't understand that this is also a relationship business, and you have to be a good person. You have to be able to socialize with people to kind of be in the mix, because this is a lot of people, out of sight, out of mind. But if you're socializing with people that are in this industry and stay kind of up to date with people, and you build relationships, and people, when projects start to happen, they think about you. Just for a perfect example, for the first Dune, I had worked with Denny on Blade Runner. I had proven myself to him. I worked very hard to get that role, and by the time this came around, I didn't have to go on audition. He called me. He said, "Hey, I have this role for you. Would you want to play it?" And I was like, "Of course." But that's that led me to there.
Wrapping up, but I just want to piggyback off of that. Just across all the directors, even including Denny, just everybody you've worked with, is there anything that you particularly learned that you keep with you that a director has taught you that, like, I'm keeping that to the chest, I'm going to keep going, use that in my craft moving forward?
Well, man, that's a long conversation because I've worked with some really great directors. And they've all been different experiences. So I think it's the cumulative, with my experiences. And I look forward to working with other great directors. I think this is why I can tell you this. Zoe Saldana said to me on the very first Guardians, she said, be very picky about the directors you work with. And I took that to heart, and I paid attention, and I listened, and I learned from that. And I'm still there. So every experience with a different director it's a different experience, a new experience. But I look forward to working with different directors. So, I want to work with the Chris Nolans. I want to work with the Wes Andersons. I want to work with the Antoine Fuquas. And I think they're all going to be different individual experiences, but I guarantee you that all those different experiences will make me a better performer. And that's what I'm after in this. I want to be the best performer that I can be. And I want to be talked about. I want to be in that circle. I want to be in that conversation of award-winning actors. I don't need the trophy, but I want to be in the conversation. So that's what I'm after.
Oh yeah, I respect that. I see it for you. I see it. Everything I'm telling you genuinely, like every time I see you on screen, I'm like, my boy he's come a long way. Just to see you keep climbing, I'm excited.
No,
man.
thank you. I appreciate it.